Hi, I'm Tracie Mahan, and this is a channeled Ascension activation session where I had the pleasure of bringing a colleague and fellow QHHT Level 1 intern, Travis Merriman, through a journey where he goes to a world where the non-physical beings are learning how to be in a physical body and all the technology and information that goes with that. Take a listen.
I think Lemuria also,
Mm.
and something about sound.
Mm. Do you work with sound?
He does.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good relationship with sound. I admire his relationship with sound and music. Or I have one as well, but I admire how he works with it.
Mm-hmm.
Sound and music are very, very, very important to us in a deep, almost unexplainable way in a human level.
Yes. We are getting interesting visuals. We are trying to make sense of them. There is connection with this one. You said Lemuria, but when you started talking of the sound, we're seeing a whole different planet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I don't know what it was, but I saw. I mean, it looks like a desert to me right now.
Mm. The planet does.
Uh huh.
Let's go there. Look how fast you could do that.
Uh huh.
Humans want to complicate things, but you can travel so fast. Mm-hmm. Now we are on the planet. Let's look around. Tell us what you are experiencing there.
Mm-hmm. Does seem desert-like, but like cracks in the ground, kind of. But it's not dry. There's water still. It's dark blue.
The water is?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Keep seeing trees that are like the bark goes up and out, like kind of the opposite direction that you think that it would. It
Mm.
flowers. The bark flowers up, and then at the top there's green, like palm leaves almost. But the trunk is very. It's like backwards, but also flowering, like petals. It's interesting looking.
Hmm.
Um,
What else do you see on this planet or experience while you are there?
a stone bowl with
Mm-hmm.
dark blue water in it. The bowl is gray. It's soft stone. It's like almost like a pie pan, but bigger.
We want to invite you to do this, and we're not sure of your comfort level, but we feel that this could be the space that created the sound that is causing this memory to surface. But it sounds like it is not words, it is pitches that are used. Can you
Mm-hmm.
hear it in your head? And if so, would you be willing to do it for your video?
Higher. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Might be higher than that. That is close.
Yes, and when you are in the space of these stones, when they reverberate off of the stones, can you hear it? It makes this most amazing sound.
It's almost like much more glassy than you expect.
Mm-hmm.
So, mm-hmm.
Yes, we could sit here in this for a while. And the water feels very healing. Do you get that sense?
It feels very nourishing, or yes, it feels very healing. Yes.
Mm. Can you describe what you looked like in that lifetime?
I'm seeing it's humanoid. It's a human. Dark skin, white robe again, long dark hair, like soft long hair,
Mm.
big eyebrows, happy.
And tell us a little bit more about that life. Where do you live when you're on this planet?
Hmm. It is a building, maybe clay, and it looks like the bowl, but bigger. It's the same shape.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, dome top, but it's not an excessive dome. It's just slight um, carved entryway, big open space, big circular space, lots of wooden pieces, but soft in a way. Mm, other kinds of barky things to make it soft. Weaving of bark.
Hmm.
It's a place of protection, place of mm, maybe not protection, but upkeep, uh, managing the environment, keeping up the environment,
And what do you mean by keeping up the environment?
serving the environment to sustain it,
Mm-hmm.
helping it, yeah, something with the water, extracting water
Hmm.
from below, perhaps, bringing water up.
And was all the water below?
No, some was above, but not much.
And when you're in this space, when you're looking at the place where you live, can you tell us about who you were there with, or if you're there with anyone?
Bill is there. I knew that from the get-go. Seems like we're there to learn.
Mm-hmm.
We're happy and it's fun and it's a funny time and it's exciting and we're just there. It seems timeless, or not timeless, but that there are no restrictions on time to complete the learning or learning through the experience that we are partaking in. And whenever the learning is complete, it will be complete.
Mm.
Mm, maybe there are others around, but Bill is there with me in this place.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you eat? What is the food there?
Leaves.
Mm. What is that like to eat the leaves?
Kind of just like roll them up and then eat them. Maybe just once a day.
Mm-hmm. And that sustains you.
Something to do with brain flow. It's like
The leaves are to do with the brain flow?
yeah,
Mm.
daily, like a daily vitamin or
Mm. And what do the leaves grow on?
bushes.
The bushes. Mm-hmm. Mm.
They are green and purple.
Mm. And let's imagine we can rise above this. And as you rise above the planet and you look at it from an aerial perspective, what do
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it looks like an earthy planet in that kind of hospitable, sustainable, like an ecosystem, but the land part, it's more pink.
you? Mm.
Mm, more of a pinkish hue than a brownish on Earth would be. It does look, it's like, it looks more smooth. Doesn't look like as much terrain as Earth.
Mm-hmm. Is there any other life forms other than the people?
I saw an elephant at first, but I'm not sure. Um, birds, big birds, they kind of do their own thing.
And what does the sky look like?
The sky from down below just looks blue. It looks blue.
Mm-hmm.
Very cloudless.
And is there anything different about this planet than what you're used to now on the Earth planet?
Power. We have access to power, but it is not an electrical grid as we know now.
Mm-hmm.
It is something easier, and we do use light. We have light fixtures. That's why Bill and I like light so much now. We have an affinity for this dark orange hue light. That's what we like. And that's what we have here. That's what's on the walls.
Mm. And how do you do that? How do you get power?
It's like there's one receptor for an area, and things are attached to this receptor, things that we need, like lights. And still in like they're attached to this receptor in a very particular way, mm, almost like a sacred geometry kind of way. They are set up in a specific way. The receptor receives energy from elsewhere. It is power grid. but more ethereal than physical.
And that provides you with the power.
Mm-hmm.
And so the receptor, it brings the power in from, you said it's ethereal. Can you tell us more about that?
Mm-hmm. Natural planet energy that is not necessarily detectable as electronic, but yeah, more clean than that. And when all the receptors are on in the right place, it taps into this clean, smooth energy that can be directed and utilized in a way that is not harmful to physical bodies.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else on that planet that would be good to know about, that would be different than what you are doing in the Earth realm?
It's a school, the whole planet's a school.
It's a school.
It's a specific school.
What do you learn there?
The basics of physicality and functioning within a physical form.
A physical form like a body.
Yes.
And so you go to this planet to learn how to be in a physical body.
It's like gen ed for a body.
And what are you learning to be in a body for? What's the idea behind that?
It's what you can do before you go to a denser place like this. Everything in this other place is. It's closer to, you don't have, memory is not wiped. You understand what you're doing. You are put into physical, but you are still cosmic. And here, it is a very funny place to be. There is a lot of laughter because you know what you're doing, and it's a funny experience. And you have all of your knowledge within you, and you are just practicing being in a physical form, getting used to it, going through the motions of having a form, moving it around, and walking around and moving limbs and touching and experiencing in this way. But there is no veil. And that's why it is very, very comical. It's a funny place. There are very simple games and things to do just so you have something to do. After the learning is full, you can move on to something harder.
And so it prepares you for different worlds or realities, experiences like Earth?
Yes, different. From there, you can move on to varying degrees of veils.
We would like to know more about that.
There are varying degrees of veils that you can experience. This is one of the heaviest.
Which is the planet you are on, or the Earth realm? Earth. So Earth is one of the heaviest veils you can experience.
It's very self-centered and forgetful, and it's self-centered. It thinks it's the only one like that. It's not. And it thinks that there is this and that there is other. It thinks that there is this with a veil and then other with not the veil, but there are varying degrees of experience.
Why would one want to experience the heavy veil?
It's fun to push through it. The outcome is the experience. The whole thing is the experience, but it is fun to pass through a veil. And it is just different. On the other side, you want to know. There is an unknowing on that side too, because there's an unfamiliarity with forgetting. So curiosity holds.
So the idea of forgetting that you are a galactic, infinite being is encouraging when you come into the Earth realm. That is something that is part of the experience?
It is curious.
Anything else you can tell us about that?
It is curious, and it is also ever-changing. There is no one way. There are ways, and they change. The entrance and the existence and the exit and the experiences are always new. Therefore, the curiosity can always be there. As information is compiled, it continues to be compiled, but that does not mean that there is not any more information to be compiled. There is always more. It is always open to change. Every time you come in and experience, it could be new. It will be new.
Mm.
It makes it fun, even if it is hard.
We like that you keep saying it is fun, and we hope that people will see it that way as well, that it is fun, even though it is hard.
Mm.
Is there anything else they would like to show you about this planet?
Something about clouds, actually. Clouds do come. Showing me clouds in a pink sky, the sky turns pink. I think this has something to do with, in this planet, when your game or when your lesson is coming to a close, there is a shift, and a shift in the sky. And there are white clouds that roll in against a pink sky, and it's like your existence there is a circle and you started here and it kind of rotates around back to the beginning. There is like a shift that happens over the circle, and that is your activation to know that your time there is coming to an end and it is time to move forward, and it is a time of celebration when that occurs there. It is like an ascension from there. And you know that it is time for a new game. Also a time to, yes, also a time to make decisions in packs. That is a decision-making time, and that is the end of that part, that place.
And then you leave the planet, or is that is your end in that lifetime?
You leave the planet.
Very good.
Something about that shift in the sky allows you to leave.
And so when you exit the body in that lifetime, you're consciously doing it. You're making a choice.
It is, you just know it is time. You already made the choice when you went there. The choice has been made. And it's like a timer. The timer is going around, and then ding. It's like, you know, that part is complete. And then it is time to go. So it is a choice, but the choice was already made beforehand.
It was all prearranged. Wonderful. Okay.